Kia ora, good evening. A new capital investment deal by a Chinese trading group in a local meat processing company will mean expansion and jobs for the region. Prime Range Meats has secured its own supply chain into China, with Invercargill Trading Group increasing its shareholding from just under a quarter to 75% in the meat processing company. Recently introduced new capital into PRM, and this new transaction will see capital expenditure on the West Plains plant of several $1 million more in coming months. The move has been approved by the Overseas Investment Office. This deal means the plant will get capital needed for sustainability and expansions over the next 5 years. The number of jobs is expected to increase from the current 120 to around 170 or more, and the significant capital expenditure planned for in and around the plant. PRM is ready to talk to interested farmers about the future potential of having long-term supply arrangements for quality stock. The number of skilled job vacancies advertised online remained steady in October across most industry groups and occupations. According to the Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment's latest Jobs Online report, the number of skilled vacancies grew in 8 out of 10 regions over the past year to October. The biggest annual increases were in Otago Southland, up 19.6%, at least 5% higher than other regions. Annual growth in skilled vacancies remains strong nationally, underpinned by the hospitality and tourism industry, up 21.4%. Net migration reached a fresh record for the third consecutive month in October, led by an increasing number of Indian student arrivals and fewer Kiwis leaving. For the year end October 31st, the country gained a net 47,684 migrants, the biggest ever gain according to Statistics New Zealand. Annual arrivals rose 16% from the previous year to a new high of 107,200, while departures fell by 20%. The annual net loss to Australia was 5,300 people. That's the smallest loss in 20 years. The Reserve Bank estimates strong migration will add 50,000 people to the labour force over the next 2 years. It's being referred to as Southland's biggest sandpit, but you won't see any sandcastles at this indoor beach venue. The SIT Zero Fees Velodrome has been turned into a beach volleyball venue to host the SIT Volleyball Festival this week, and for Southland Stadium workers it's been no easy task.
It's been a huge operation in the sense of the number of trucks we've had. Obviously, we had 5 or 6 big trucks coming through since Sunday morning right through to today, and we'll finish around lunchtime today. And then obviously the operation at the back end of the week and getting it all out, which is going to be a very challenging exercise. Without question, in our 14-year history, this would be the biggest one we've undertaken in the sense of operational setup. Obviously the containment of the sand is huge for us, and it's been a very, very big operation.
What are the risk factors in this?
Well, obviously we have the cycling, the velodrome and the track, and we have cyclists continuing to cycle throughout the week, so we have to contain the sand inside the actual playing arena, and with obviously lots of players going to be playing in there. It's about the sand police really having them about and ensuring that no sand gets outside the actual playing arena and onto the cycling track. And of course later in the week we need to get the sand out of the building, so again containing and making sure that none of the sand gets up into the rafters or whatever with the dust. So the risk factor is very high.
And how long has this idea been in the making?
Volleyball Southland have been hugely proactive, and congratulations to them. It's been a combined effort really, from Volleyball New Zealand, Volleyball Southland and ourselves. Always wanted to try and create something a little bit different, and I think this is a first for New Zealand by taking beach volleyball inside and creating that beach volleyball atmosphere. So it's a party atmosphere. Really looking forward to later in the week and having the beach volleyball inside, and a great opportunity for the Invercargill public to come down and have a look.
Can you tell me how much sand is here?
A hell of a lot, to be honest. I think we've got about 68 truckloads coming through. It's been a huge job, and they've done a fantastic job getting it in. The depth is really important, obviously, for the players. So we've got that correct now, and we're just levelling off as we speak behind us, and looking forward to obviously getting onto it and playing in Southland's largest sandpit.
Can we expect a lot more of these kind of events coming from here?
Well, what's really important for Southland is to create some destination events, and we'd like to be involved in a lot more of those so that we can actually create some events that people come down to Southland on more than one occasion. So if when the beach ball volley is successful, the opportunity to create it every year will be fantastic and create a real destination event for Southland. So that's the long-term aim.
So people are coming from all over the country for this?
Absolutely, yeah, we've got them from Auckland South obviously, and some international volleyball players from Australia as well, so it's truly a global event, but the opportunity is there for us to grow it even greater than what it currently is, and that's the challenge we have, and I'm sure that they will be very successful this week.
Stay with us. Still to come on the bulletin, a world-acclaimed cellist is set to perform in the city, plus a wrap from the weekend. Welcome back. In the Hall of the Mountain King, presented by musicians of the New Zealand Symphony Orchestra, takes to the stage of the Civic Theatre on Wednesday night. I caught up with Christine Hainstock about the classical musical tour.
Well, this is a split tour, which involves half the orchestra. Basically, we've got 50 players on the road. Simple reason, we can't get the entire orchestra of 100 players on the small stages in the small centres. So this is a popular classical concert. We started in Blenheim to a full house. We could have done 2 in Blenheim. We've got a fantastic cellist, soloist. He is a 26-year-old Armenian, and he just makes that cello talk. But the audience wouldn't let him get off the stage. That's how good it was. Of course, the orchestra speaks for itself. It's international standard, and it's so good that we can get to Invercargill this time.
Is the type of music that's going to be played, is it something that people will recognise, or is it for more followers of classical music?
No, it's very recognisable. Most people would know Peer Gynt, which is Grieg. We've got Mozart, Tchaikovsky and Grieg. So it's a very popular program which will encourage people to come because it's not over the heads of a lot of people. We would like to bring the heavy classical programs here, but we need the entire orchestra for those.
How are ticket sales going in the south, Christine?
Yeah, they're going well, but it's quite a big theatre to fill. We're virtually full in other places, but Invercargill, people think they can just come on the night because the Civic is quite sizable for classical music. Generally, the ticket sales are slow in Invercargill. I'm quite used to that. That's the way it is, but they do come. And I must say that I have gone out to the out-of-school music classes who do a fantastic job in Invercargill. Sort of takes me back really because I administered it for 15 years, so I've put it out to the parents there and the students and giving them a really good deal, and they've got their concert tonight and they're taking enrolments for next year. So we've got lots of little classical musicians coming on track.
The South Museum and Art Gallery has invited talent from across the region to celebrate its current focus, dance. November is Dance Month at the South Museum, and a variety of local dance groups have been showcasing their talents throughout the month. Performers consisted of everything from Latin, Irish and contemporary dancing to jazz, tap dancing and rock and roll to showcase the wide range of dancing Southland has to offer. To wrap up the successful month, the museum will hold a Scottish dance festival on Sunday. This year's Dance Month is the first in what the South Museum say may become a yearly event. White Ribbon Day is all about building bridges, and there were several being built as part of this year's annual awareness campaign that raises the issue of violence against women.
Every year, a bevy of motorcyclists travel the North and South Islands to show their support in the elimination of violence against women.
The White Ribbon Riders are a group of motorcycle enthusiasts from Patriots Defence Motorcycle Club and Redeemed Club, and men and women who go around New Zealand during White Ribbon campaign on the 25th of November. They ride around the South Island and they spread the message of reducing family violence in New Zealand.
While in the South this year, riders took part in the Southland Building Bridges Challenge, where teams use a range of materials with just 30 minutes to complete the challenge at the Southland Boys High School on Saturday.
The Bridge Building Challenge is being run by the Girl Guides in Southland, and it's about making strong connections and relationships in our communities and in our families, and about building safe, strong relationships.
Police attend a domestic violence call-out every 5.5 minutes in New Zealand.
Domestic violence in Southland's no more prevalent than anywhere else in New Zealand. About 1 in 3 women will experience a violent relationship in their lifetime. And it's only about 20% of domestic violence cases are ever reported to the police. So there's a lot of domestic violence out there. People tend to think it's physical violence, but psychological violence is also just as damaging to families and to people.
If people suspect there may be violence within a family, they are encouraged to seek help.
I think it's to help that family to seek help for that, whether that is talking to a work colleague, whether that is providing some information, or whether in fact it's reporting it to the police.
The official White Ribbon Day for New Zealand is tomorrow, when men and women throughout New Zealand will show their support in the elimination of violence against women. Margot Sutherland, South Today News.
The floats have retired to their sheds for another year, and the big man in red has returned home to prepare for Christmas. An estimated 15,000 people lined Invercargill streets yesterday to watch the city's annual Santa parade. The crowd was treated to some very welcome afternoon sun and an impressive 73 floats before the kids got a glimpse of Santa Claus himself. Despite the parade running a day late due to heavy rain, organisers said the extra time was appreciated and that the event ran without a hitch. And also on Sunday, Waihopai School made the most of the sunny conditions for their annual market day. Hundreds turned out to support the market day, which was raising funds for a refurbishment of the Big Kids Adventure Playground. Live performances from musician Liv McBride, Kapahaka and Jump Jam entertained the crowd, as well as a big fun Big Dig treasure hunt for the kids, face painting and tractor rides. Each class at the school ran their own stall as part of the market day, with some offering manicures and the traditional market day pleaser being homemade baking. And that's it from the news desk. Weather is along next, followed by sport from the news team. Good night.